Hey everybody, I hope you are doing well. I am Afefe with Touch by Tarot, and I am joining you all doing this recording today on June 21st, which is the summer solstice. You all could not let this day go by without, first of all, going to Spirit. I've been in meditation this morning, just thinking about the summer solstice is a beautiful time of year. It is that midway point of the year. It is on our yearly calendar. It is the day that we have the most daylight. So, it's the celebration of the sun, the celebration of summer, the celebration of life, the celebration, very often you'll see a lot of people, sunflowers are one of the most popular flowers during this holiday. It is a time, you all, where we kind of get that midway point of the year, thinking about all the intentions and things that we tend to set at the beginning of a year. And then, okay, I'm at the midway point. What have I done? What have I noticed that has shifted? What are my remaining goals? How do I want to focus and move forward for the second half of the year? So we're going to take a look at those things today. I was led to pull. These are the decks I will be using today. I was led to pull the Find Your Happy. That's going to be our catalyst card I'll pull for you. Find Your Happy Oracle deck, the Rainbow Moon Tarot. And I could not do a summer solstice reading without the Oracle of the Radiant Sun for you all. So, having said that, I'm going to shuffle a little bit, and then I'm going to pull a catalyst card. I'll do my typical 3 piles, and then you'll choose based on the message from this catalyst card, which pile, or maybe more than one, that you feel drawn to, okay? And I should say, for those of you who are new to my channel, you may have found your way here. I'm so glad you did. I am an intuitive reader. I channel messages based on, I always pick different decks. I always combine decks because I notice that between oracles and tarot, you just get a fuller message. You get more context. You get more texture. You can really feel it. And you all seem to really like it. Those who have been with me, I really, I appreciate you. And please spread the word, trying to, grow my channel, trying to deliver good content. And also, you all, I'm always open to suggestions. If there are, I know everyone has said you really like the pick a cards. If there are other topics, for instance, that you'd love me to go to Spirit and get some messages for you on specific topics, feel free, drop me a line or send me an email. Drop me a line in the comments or send me an email to touchbytarot@gmail.com. All right? touchbytarot@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you. All right, so let's go. Let's pick 3 catalyst messages, and then I'll read based off of those. So we're looking at messages from Spirit for this summer solstice. Taking stock at this midway point of the year and looking at what we need to know and be aware of to make the most of the second part of the second half of 2023. All right? The only approval I need is my own. I'm going to use that off of the bottom of the deck after shuffling. So this is going to be pile number 1. The only approval I need is my own. All right? If that message pings you, that'll be pile number 1. How empowering is that, right? Pile number 2, it will be, I believe in the person I am becoming. Whoa. All right? Pile number 2, that's your leader card. If you're drawn to that message, we're going to build off of that. Okay? And then for pile number 3, everything happens for a reason. Woo! I tell you, these are pinging this morning. And this is a thick deck, all kinds of messages. And I feel like all 3 of these are very appropriate for the topic of this reading or the timing of this reading, the summer solstice. So, go over those one more time. Pile number 1. The only approval I need is my own. Pile number 2 will be, I believe in the person I am becoming. And pile number 3 will be, everything happens for a reason. All right, so we're going to put 2 and 3 to the side, and let's go in and see what Spirit has to say. The only approval I need is my own for the summer solstice. Ooh. All right. Let's go, Spirit, please. For those who chose pile number 1, the only approval I need is my own. Why did they choose that message, and how does it apply to how this year is developing and what it is that they need to be aware of. How can they move into the second half of this year knowing that the only approval they need is their own? What is your message for them? What is your guidance for them? What do they need to know? All right. You have the divine, the high priestess at the bottom of the deck. That is so appropriate, you all, for this message of the only approval I need is my own. Because the high priestess is truly a powerful energy that you're carrying, that's presenting itself to you to carry yourselves during the second half of this year especially. The high priestess energy, and notice again this keyword in this rainbow moon tarot, they call her the divine. All right? The high priestess is an energy where you know, very often this happens, you know more than you think you do. And the only approval you need is your own, is because there will be opportunities for you. There will be revelations that you will have the second half of 2023. You're going to recognize just how much you know, just how powerful your knowledge is. And also the high priestess unveils mysteries. She doesn't always, she doesn't show all of her cards. She reveals them based on when the timing is right. And so also for those of you who were drawn to this pile, the number 2, she rules the number 2. This could be that you have been in a 2-year period of growth. Maybe over the last 2 months, things are happening for you, some real developments in your life. And it could also be, in terms of timing, going forward, the next 2 years, the next 2 months, okay? But 2s are coming through importantly for you. You have the Ace of Swords, change of mind, a change of heart, because the 5 of Cups. Why am I not surprised to see that? You have the Ace of Swords, they call it daggers in this deck, the Ace of Swords and the 5 of Cups. So this is you really taking charge. The only approval I need is my own, because with that 5 of Cups, it shows that you're sensitive to what others think of you. Perhaps you have absorbed a lot of, things that have happened in your life, people's opinions, how people have treated you, for sure, because that's coming in cups. Water, our emotions with that 5 of Cups. So there's that, maybe you have sought, consciously, subconsciously, you've sought other people's opinions. We all love approval. I love the comments and the likes on my this content that I deliver for you, right? It matters to me. I'm not living for it, but it does register, okay? We're human. We're connected. We need that kind of affirmation from one another. But here, the only approval I need is my own, as your catalyst, is saying that if you have been in a position where, by relying on others to give you that approval, to give you that bolstering, to affirm you, to give you that pat on the back, and it's not getting you where you need to go, then that's your Ace of, they call it daggers, which is interesting in this deck, but that's your Ace of Swords. It's saying this summer solstice is about you deciding the only approval you need is your own, because it is a change in your thinking. It is a decisive way of being that you will adapt, or that perhaps you already are in the process of adapting. You have the 9 of Swords, because it's worn you out, exactly. And the 6 of Earth, because you are going to be given a gift. And that gift is going to help you really stabilize and celebrate how much you have accomplished, and give yourself total credit, approving of yourself, giving yourself that pat on the back. Now, I say that because the 9 of Swords is where it's stressful. And it's where, notice the contrast between that and the Ace of Swords. Here you have the potential for new ideas, to be thoughtful, to be decisive, to know who you are, to stand up for who you are. Having the divine, your first card that came, the High Priestess, reveal these things to you in time. And that too, again, is important. I need to reemphasize that. So things are being revealed to you about yourself in time. And some of these situations that you've encountered with people that have disappointed you, when you didn't get the affirmation, the love, the support that you needed and deserved, what's happened is, with that 9 of Swords, it takes a toll. We're human. It takes a toll. But this 6 of Crystals, which is Pentacles in this deck, is a gift. See that scale? You know, it's like when I was growing up, the old folks, now I'm an old folk, but the old folks used to say, you got to take the bitter with the sweet. Couldn't stand it, because I didn't understand it back then. But in context, in hindsight, I get it. In life, you got to take the bitter with the sweet. And in doing so, it helps you really, that sweet becomes sweeter because you know what those hard times are. You know what it's like to not have gotten the affirmation and the approval from those who should have given it to you, whether it was a promotion you deserved on the job, or in a relationship with a supportive partner who reminds you how special and beautiful you are. Whatever those things are, that's something that is coming to you. It's being gifted to you in the second half of this year. And the Four of Wands comes for you. Beautiful card of celebration. Beautiful card around summer. And thinking about, warmth and growth and celebration, vacations, good times, getting out in nature, moving the blood in your body. The Four of Wands having a lot to do. And notice in this card, they show it with a home because it very often can be a card of commitment. It can be a card where you grow into relationships, take that next step in a relationship, take a commitment and decide, I want this home. I'm willing to buy this home for myself, spruce up the home, redecorate. It is where, the four pillars of Four of Wands. It is the four pillars, something foundational about how you are going to live your life and celebrate you. The only approval I need is my own. Spirit is saying the second half of 2023, get ready to celebrate you. And the way that you're going to do that is by making a conscious decision. That Ace of Swords is coming through very, very strong. And it's a conscious choice. It's a conscious decision to celebrate you and to stop looking outward for others' opinions and approval. Although there's nothing wrong with that. You're not to blame for that. There's no fault in that. It is ingrained in us to seek approval. Going back to when we were in school, what are we doing? Working hard because we're trying to get the approval, quote unquote, to earn that grade, to be seen as that honor student, right? Starts very, very young. We're approval, social media, for instance, and being a quote unquote influencer. Because others approve of what we do, what we're saying, how we look, what we use, how we dress, etc. Approval is a huge part of this modern culture that we live in. But at the end of the day, it is what you think of yourself. It is what you tell yourself. It is the thoughts that you allow yourself to think. That is what really matters. I want to pull some of these cards from this Oracle of the Radiant Sun for you. We have power. Woo! The moon in Scorpio. Power. Power is what comes to you and comes through you and builds up inside of you as you become the person who gives yourself approval. The only approval you need is your own, and that is your power. That is what pings your power. The moon in Scorpio. It is a deeply transformative period of time that you are about to undergo through, or are already beginning to go through, perhaps with the spring equinox. You have harmony. Oh, the sun in Libra. Your relationships. That goes back to that Five of Cups. It has been your relationships that has been a source of, am I good enough? Why did this happen? Why did this person do this or say this about me? Why am I not more connected? Why do I feel isolated? All the different things that happen to us when we seek approval from outside of ourselves. There you have it. Harmony. Your relationships, there's something that's going to start to click, and it clicks because of that Ace of Swords. You start to change your thoughts, you start to change the dialogue that you're having with yourself, and you will notice the impact on your relationships. More harmonious relationships. Instead of approaching things from you saw me pull it. Optimism. Okay? Optimism, pile number one. By changing your thoughts, and by beginning to have and telling yourself, holding that close. The only approval I need is my own. It literally shifts the energy and the dynamic first within you, but we know the saying, as within, so without. So as you begin to really, that locks in. It's not just you're paying lip service to it, but you start feeling it. That's that high priestess coming for you. You start feeling it. You start recognizing, hey, wait a minute. Okay, you have your opinion, but guess whose opinion counts the most? Mine, especially when it pertains to me, myself, and I, right? There you have it. You have harmony, optimism, wow, and power. This next 6 months, pile number 1, is going to be transformative for you, if not so much in your outer world, although I do see with those relationships and harmony, I do see some connections that you're going to be making. But the reason that those connections start coming through for you has so much to do with this inner transformation that you're going to undergo, and that you perhaps have even already started undergoing. There is nothing that is holding you back except your own thoughts. And it's really making a conscious choice and decision to decide who matters most in this situation. Perhaps there are things beyond your control. If you are, say for instance, in the business world, if you are working, and yes, you do need someone's approval. Somebody's got to sign on the dotted line for that pay raise or that promotion or whatever. That is a form of approval. But it is the energy that you will carry in that job, in showing up, in that confidence, walking in with your shoulders up and your chin high, and not from an egotistical standpoint, but from a sense of being assured of who you are, what you offer, what skills you have in your relationship sector. If this is especially in romance for some of you, I feel, because I know so often in the area of love and romance, what do? We twist ourselves up in knots for the sake of someone's approval, for the sake of someone's love and commitment. And here there is sort of a line drawn in the sand where you are recognizing your own value to the extent that first and foremost, it is your approval that matters. And it is your approval that because of the force of it, it becomes a reality, and it shifts into the harmony of the relationships that you have, including your romantic relationships, okay? Or ship, singular. Singular or plural, hey, we live in a world, right? We live in a world where lots of things happen for people, and there's a freedom to live your life the way you choose. So, all right, pile number 1, I hope that really pinged you. This is a deeply transformative next 6 months that you're heading into. And again, it's going to be about your mental, how you are processing, and your communication, how you are speaking, the dialogue that you're having with yourself and with others. That's your ticket. Pile number 2, let's go. I believe in the person I am becoming. All right, let's see what Spirit has to say for you in the next 6 months. I'm going to put those back and shuffle. All right, next 6 months. Put that one to the side. I believe in the person I am becoming. So, Spirit, what is the message for those who were attracted to pile number 2 and believing in the person they are becoming, and how that relates to the summer solstice? Growth, opportunity, joy, affirmations. Please give a message for those who chose pile number 2. How will they understand and recognize the person that they are becoming, and so therefore believe in the person they are becoming? What is your insight, Spirit? What is your insight and guidance on that? The person that they are becoming, and being able to believe in who they are becoming. All right, we're ready. The Hermit. A course of study. Believing in who you are becoming, pile number 2. This is a quest that you're on, and this is a quest towards discovering more about yourself. Believing in who you are becoming. Wow, What a beautiful card to start out that you're reading with, because the Hermit is in the act of becoming. That is why it's the Hermit's journey. That's why you see going on that quest, very often having to step away. It can be not so much about being solitary and going off and totally, distancing yourself from others, although it could be quiet time, it could be meditation time where you do carve out, okay, this is my me time. It could even be that extra 5 minutes in the shower, all right? But the Hermit, in terms of becoming, is on that quest. And very often it is about the quest to find your purpose, to live your purpose, to find your joy, to understand more in the act of becoming who you are. And the Hermit helps really. The Hermit goes to spirit. The Hermit is moving towards spirit. That's why the Hermit always has that light, because the Hermit is being led by the divine, by spirit, by your spirit guides, by source, toward that knowledge of self, who you are becoming. So glad we started your reading with that. Really, really powerful. You have the Two of Pentacles. So there's a part of your life over the next 6 months. While you are becoming, it is requiring you to do two things at once. So the Hermit is saying you are on this quest to learn more about yourself. Maybe you're taking courses, workshops, maybe you're changing jobs or starting a new project, right? Whatever that is, you're still, with this Two of Pentacles, there's kind of a foot in both worlds. So you may not be able to completely spend a whole day off the grid, reading your books and doing your tarot and doing your spiritual pursuits or working on your creative projects. There's still work to be done. There may be laundry, you know what I mean, or grocery shopping, sort of that kind of thing, where there's this balance between the day-to-day, life stuff and the quest that you're on, the life quest, the spiritual journey that you're on. So you're going to be doing a little bit of both and learning how to balance those two things. Wow, this came in for pile number 1 as well. Here's the High Priestess. Here's the High Priestess for you as well, pile. So if you chose pile number 2, again, very often there are crossovers. You may want to take a look at the first pile as well. You are becoming, if you were attracted to this, you are becoming someone who is, people who are going to seek you out for your wisdom and your knowledge. Because there's no accident that you've got the Hermit coming with the High Priestess here, both of whom understand deeply sacred knowledge, the quest for sacred knowledge, and with the High Priestess, it's that knowledge that is already in your DNA. You were born with it. But I believe in the person I am becoming says you may have been born with it. A baby is born knowing how to speak and walk and play, right? But you have to grow into those stages in order to develop what's already innately there. That's what's happening with you, pile number 2. In the second half of 2023, you are recognizing what was always innately there. And you're going to use that to propel yourself to go forward. It's like one day you're going to get up and look in the mirror and go, wow, I am realizing this about myself. I guess I knew this all along, but now I'm ready to act on it. And you got the Star. Look at all these major arcana coming for you. The Star. It is about applying yourself to the vision that you want for your future. I believe in the person I am becoming. The Star is about saying those prayers, planting those rituals. When I said planting they gave me, I meant to say doing the rituals, but planting something in the earth for you all. Maybe it is an actual plant, watering a plant and seeing that plant sort of as an extension of yourself and who you are becoming. As the plant grows, you grow. As you water the plant, you are watering yourself. You are watering your hopes, your dreams, your vision for yourself, for the future. This is a really auspicious card because, again, you've got, I pulled 4 cards, and 3 of them for you all are major arcana. We started with the Hermit, we have the High Priestess, and now we have the Star. This is a vision that you are being given for where you are going, the Hermit, where you are going based on who you already are. The revelation of yourself. This is your true north, right? In your astrological chart, when we talk about the North Node and the South Node, this is your true north. This is really you discovering who you, not just who you are becoming, but recognizing who you've been all along. I feel like one more for you. And the Ten of Wands, exactly. In this instance, the Ten of Wands, I think, is, instead of overburdening you, I think it is giving you the fullness from a spiritual perspective, because it's coming in fire. It's giving you the fullness of the recognition of what it is that you've come here to do, and just how much power you have to get it done, just how much energy you have to get it done. The Ten of Wands, again, typically we can look at that as being overburdened and oppressed. Those are standard, terms and definitions applied to the Ten of Wands. But because of how these major arcana have come for you, and you believing in the person you are becoming, I think it is you shedding that weight. It is you understanding that the Ten of Wands has built you up. It has built your spiritual muscle. It has trained you to be who you are becoming. You've been in training. That Hermit, all those lessons that you've been learning, all the discipline. Pile number 2, you have, I don't know in what area of life, but you have really had to understand discipline. Whether that was discipline in your health, discipline in your work, discipline in your behaviors. Discipline has been a major factor for you. But while it may have felt overwhelming for you, it was teaching you. It was teaching you and training you and building your spiritual muscle to allow you to become who you are today. And, no, that's too many. I thought, no, it ain't too many. An affair and isolation. I know that isolation is tied to the Hermit somehow. An affair, Venus in Leo, and isolation. All right. I don't even think this is not rocket science. This is pretty clear. There's love coming for you. Either, and if you're in a relationship already, then, and perhaps it's had some struggles, there's something where it begins to take a turn and it begins to feel better. Or perhaps that is a part of your quest, and that Hermit's journey is you are on the pathway to figuring out how to make it better, figuring out how to come out of what has felt like isolation. And the thing with isolation, again, thinking about the Hermit, you can be in a room full of people, or a home full of people, or lying in bed next to someone and still feel very much alone. So the affair is having that connection with someone. And the thing about an affair is very often it's in those what I call the twinkle toes stages, right? Because an affair brings the notion of something being breezy, something being fun, something being new, and having an element of, desire to it, something fresh, appealing. I gotta get more. And that Venus in Leo is like you showing up for it. This affair of the heart, all of your affairs of the heart, and coming out of isolation, coming out of that Saturn. That isolation is Saturn in Virgo. So it's something that may be deliberate. If you had gone through something, you lost someone, you went through a breakup, you lost a job, whatever, broke, friendship, something, people have become distant, life has changed. We can feel that isolation, and it is restrictive. Saturn in Virgo, it feels restrictive, but there were lessons that you were learning from it, and it is helping you become I believe in the person I am becoming. It has, through in its own way, and the defense, right? Mars in Taurus. You've had to defend yourself. You've had to defend what you love, what you stand for. And whether that was an active thing where you spoke on it or acted it out, but internally, and I think that ties to the Ten of Wands that you got as well, you had to build up, or you have had to build up your own value system, your own belief, and stand up for what you know. And it is building your defenses. It is also, for those of you, if you are doing spiritual work, it is also understanding if you're empathic. Your defense is being able to understand your boundaries with others and not allow others to get so far, you connect with them to the point where it becomes hard to then get your distance back, and you absorb some of that. And innovation. Jupiter in Aquarius. Innovation. What is it that you're going to do new? You're going to do something new in this believing in the person you are becoming, pile number 2. This innovation. Well, the innovation, I guess, is you. Spirit is like, duh, Afefe. The innovation is you. There is this, you taking a different approach to how you look, how you feel, how you talk, how you walk, the person you are becoming. That is, and it's taking an innovative approach. That is also would relate to both the Hermit and the High Priestess, because the Hermit is willing to go its own way. You may have to go your own way in order to become this person, in order to own the person that you are becoming and really stand with it and behind it and for it. Rooted. Doggone it. Let's go. Rooted. You got the Hierophant. Another major arcana. The Hierophant. Rooted in what you know. Rooted in your own tradition, rooted in your own faith and in your own belief, and understanding that the person you are becoming, you have earned that. It is not out there. You're not becoming something so far out there that you're just sitting there looking at Spirit saying, well, what is it? Hand it to me. Show me what it is. Paint the picture. Spirit is looking at you like you're already standing on it. You're rooted in it. It's just a matter of you flipping that switch and deciding to own it. That's that star. It's a matter of you beginning to water it and grow it. Summer solstice. Because it's already there for you. You're already, all of the seeds have been planted. They just need to be watered. Right? And it may even be that, I don't know why I'm getting all these gardening references for you all, but it may even be that, with plants, very often you start them as a small plant and then those roots grow so big that you have to repot them because they'll start to choke out. You're not getting enough, soil and oxygen, right? So that could be it as well. You may have outgrown some things, pile number 2, where the person believing in the person you are becoming could be, you've got to confront some fears or some challenges and some hesitancy that you may have to take that next step. Change is necessary, and change comes, one way or another. The only constant is change, but nobody said it was easy, nobody, and sometimes it involves risks. But if you believe in the person you're becoming, pile number 2, then there is nothing to fear. It's just about doing it. All right. I'm going to put this aside. Let's move on to our third stack. And if you were attracted to number 3, your message was or is everything happens for a reason. All right. Pile number 3. Everything happens for a reason. Let's see. Everything happens for a reason, Spirit. So in the summer solstice, the second half of 2023, what does those who chose pile number 3, what is it that they need to know about the second half of 2023 and at this midway point of the year and moving forward? Everything happens for a reason. What is it that they need to put in perspective? What is it that's happened that they need to put in perspective and that you want to let them know? All right, the jumper that you just saw me let fall was the moon. I'm going to set that to the side. So you're learning a lot. You've been doing a lot of internal processing. That moon, everything happens for a reason. 7 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I'm going to take an ace. I'm never going to let that go. The Ace of Swords. lot of contemplation. And that Seven of Wands. You have some things have happened, pile number 3, that have made you question your beliefs and made you question, that why part. Usually we get to that space because something has happened that made us feel like, this was not what I was planning on. I don't see why this was necessary. Why me? Let me sip some tea on that one. I've been there a few times. But everything happens for a reason. Putting something in perspective, a new perspective with that Ace of Swords. All right? This is changing your mind or having a new conversation or a new school of thought. For some of you, it's going to be because the moon came and fell out the deck for you all. It is something that intuitively you are led to information that helps you understand why it happened. It could be a book. It could be a conversation, someone you meet. It could be a social media post. It could be anything, but it's something that you draw toward you psychically with the moon. Your psychic senses are definitely opening up, and because that search of understanding for you, everything happens for a reason, your quest to understand why has opened you up psychically. If you are interested in mediumship, some of you, that is an area for you to pursue. It will help you understand. It will give you some of the answers that you need. And the Seven of Wands is you having the courage and the bravery to be able to give yourself permission to pursue that path. Your psychic development, your spiritual development. And the Two of Swords. You have a vision that is coming forward for you. Pile number 3. There is something that you want to move forward. You've got a goal, you've got a plan, you've got a project, you've got a wish, a dream, a prayer. There is something in motion. There's something you're focused on. When you have that Two of Swords, it's something that you're focused on, but it is where there can be an inner conflict about it. I could go this way or I could go that, and you have to make that choice. But you have that Ace of Swords that's coming to help you make the choice. It gives you the clarity in order to make the choice. And everything happens for a reason. Though you're at this whole juncture for you right now, this timing of the summer solstice is giving you clarity. Not from a spiritual perspective. Let me say that. From a higher perspective, from your guides, not who said what and who did what and why they behaved that way. Yes, we all want those answers as well, but this is about you having an internal dialogue with your spirit guides psychically, so that messages begin to come in your dreams, or intuitively you get intuitive hits, downloads. I get it. I know why that happened. And that gets you past, that gets you moving forward. That Two of Swords, having that vision and knowing what you want to do, but having to really make a decision to do it. Oh my goodness. The High Priestess has come in all 3 piles, you all. There she is. And you see me shuffling. The High Priestess. Another 2, by the way, the number 2. Everything happens for a reason. This is something is being revealed to you that's going to give you clarity, not only about why a situation happened or situations happened, but what it is now that you need to do about it. Pile number 3. No question. My mind is blown right now that between all 3 of these decks, the High Priestess has shown up. The Five of Wands. So that's you taking charge. That Seven of Wands, that's you taking charge of the dynamic of this situation. Understanding whatever this conflict was, or resistance. And it could even be your own inner resistance to change or to believe something about someone. Very often when we have conflict, part of what really gets us is the notion that I'm a good person. I feel like I was doing the right thing. Why would somebody give me a hard time? Why wouldn't somebody recognize the value that I bring to a situation? Why is somebody busting my chops, right? But what's happened is psychically, your spirit guides are coming through to help you understand everything happens for a reason. And as you process that, that reason is going to be what propels you forward. Temperance. I knew I was getting ready to get another major arcana. Temperance, healing. Healing. Everything happens for a reason. Temperance takes opposite things, fire and water, oil and vinegar. It takes opposite things, male and female, sun and moon. It takes opposite things and it alchemizes them to make something that works, that blends them together. And so what has happened, the reason that it happened was because it was meant to be a part of your experience, even if it didn't tickle. It was meant to be a part of your experience because you are going to use that, High Priestess. You are going to use that experience to intuitively, the High Priestess and the Moon are two cards that go very well together energetically, because you are going to use this knowledge of what happened. Number one, you will never repeat that scenario. As they say, I don't go backwards, I go forwards. So that's number one. You're recognizing it happened for a reason, and you put it in that perspective and realize, I will never go down that path again. Won't do that. Now it's about going forward, and your way forward is where temperance comes in, because temperance brings that patience, it brings healing energy, and it brings the magic of being able to take what happened, blend it with the reality or the wish that you had of what should have happened or could have happened, and then blend that into, now here's where I'm going to go, here's my next steps, here's the path that I'm going to take to make it happen, to redo or to do what I wanted to do all along. I hope you're feeling that. And it all starts because there are things that are being revealed to you. Everything happens for a reason. With the priestess and the High Priestess and the Moon, Spirit, your guides are coming to you left, right, and center, pile number 3, to whisper in your ear. I know it was crazy. I know it was wrong. I know you went through some things, but here's what was really going on. Here's who you were becoming. Here's how you developed as a result of that. And you will never have to repeat that lesson. Here's the lessons that have been learned. There are so many revelations coming for you. And that goes back to that Ace of Swords that you got and that Seven of Wands. Because that Seven of Wands is they call it the stand your ground card, where it's oh, hold up. Okay, that's fine. You can have your opinion. I respect your opinion, but I'm going to respect mine as well. I'm going to stand on who I am as well. You have escape. Ooh, Mars in Pisces. You have had to move on. Now, on a real level, I'm going to say this. If you have dealt with people who had substance abuse issues, okay, or were using some form of escapism, or if you yourself have, because of conflict, you had to escape a situation. Sometimes it's a literal escape. I think of people who have grown up in violent homes, or who have lived with violent partners. And violence is all sorts of things. It doesn't have to be fists. It can be words that are used. Words can sometimes sink in deeper and hurt longer than physical violence. Not downplaying anything, but the point is, there's something that you felt like you had to escape, or there were people around you that were using things by means of escape, whether that was having an affair, cheating, whether it was a substance, alcohol, drugs, whether it was sex, whatever it was an element of escape that brought friction in your life. And that's part of what you are learning. Everything happens for a reason. But Spirit is saying, no worries. There is excitement coming your way. There is excitement. That's your threshold. There is excitement coming your way. You have Mercury in Gemini. Woohoo! This Ace of Swords and Spirit is saying, we want you to live with an air of expectation, with an air of excitement, with an air of that Seven of Wands, stand your ground. I deserve better. Everything happened for a reason. I put it in its perspective. I walk forward without resentment, without anger, without fear. I open my heart and I embrace the world with a sense of excitement and status. Jupiter in Taurus, status. You got some good things headed for you, pile number 3. Status. And that in and of itself is a reason for excitement. There is a shift for you all. And once you understand and really can let go of any lingering anger, guilt, resentment, fear, all of those things, I just to give you an example, it took me, I don't even know how long to truly forgive my ex-husband, because what was done was just so terribly wrong. And I felt like it just changed me, it just changed my belief in the innocence of love, right? I had to work. It took a long time. Talk about the high priestess and that internal work. It took a long time to get over that. But you put it in perspective. Everything happens for a reason, so that you can genuinely look back at that person and that situation and not feel any of those triggers, not feel any of that tightening up, not feel any of that, not feel the tears any longer. For some of us, it's that anger. For some of us, it's tears. For some of us, it is escapism. We'd rather not think about any of it, but it doesn't go away. Remember, Spirit says sometimes patterns will repeat themselves. The same people will keep showing up in our lives until we learn the lesson, right? I know you heard it and lived it. I'm right there with you. We have to learn the lesson. And once we know everything happens for a reason and truly grasp that, truly accept that, embrace that, then we move on. And I got coral because I talked it up, right? I got coral. And that goes back, you also had that 5 of Wands. That's what that coral is about. So yeah. Confirmation. Spirit is recognizing everything happens for a reason, pile number 3, because you went through some stuff. And what Spirit is saying is it's time for you to gain that moon and the high priestess, it's time for you to gain some emotional distance from that and be able to put that in perspective, remove yourself from it a little bit, right? So that as you understand that, as you look at a higher lesson from it, a higher reason from it, and take pride in knowing that you have, you are still worthy, you are still here, you are still growing, you are thriving even, because we got that, we're going to hold on to that excitement and that status, right? Your life is still in motion. And the moon helps you have that greater vision. It's something that is being illuminated. It is something that is being brought to light. And it is a dream that you have of what life should be. And the high priestess helps you, the divine, helps you tap into the power of your guides, your ancestors, your higher self, your soul, to be able to help you handle the life stuff and put that life stuff in perspective. So that then, once you do that, boom, 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 things start to open up and move for you, especially in the second half of 2023. All right, I hope that resonated. Let me know your thoughts. I always welcome your feedback. Happy summer solstice. Grow, thrive, smile, get you some flowers, get out into nature. Really live your lives, everybody. Live your lives. And I'll talk to you real soon. Bye.